We're born in the moonlight. Ain't no fair to say. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello, Aromas. This is Aromie here. Welcome back to Changeling. We're here with Ewan Route, Chapter 1, Fairy Folk. I honestly feel like this is the perfect character to end off our entire series, just because we are Fae and Ewan's Fae, so now we actually get to learn maybe everything that we didn't really learn from the other guy's route, maybe? I don't know. I was standing in a strange room that felt like it should be familiar, yet the furniture, the items, they were all foreign, strange. Across the room was a door that I headed toward instinctively, my bare feet padding silently on the carpet. Beyond that door was home. A home I desperately wanted to reach. A home filled with the tingling smell of rain and moss, with little sound but the soft rustle of trees in the wind. I exited the claustrophobic room, passing from one shadowy place to another uninterrupted. My vision was strangely distorted, like looking down a long tunnel through broken and dusty windows. It occurred to me somewhere at the back of my mind that this was a dream. Even so, I continued. Whoa, that's a kitchen, bro. Can you guys even see that? You can barely see that, right? I reached the bottom of a series of steps, my feet coming to a stop on a cold floor. Too many foggy thoughts crowded my head, and my ears was a strange muttering voice whose words I couldn't make out. Have to leave. I had to leave, but I wasn't sure which way to go. Oh no, I'm actually picking. Does this choice matter? Choose the door furthest from you, choose the door closest to you. Isn't the closest door like my parents' room or some shit? Let's go there. The door closest to me. That was the way I had to go. It was the one that led where I needed to go, wherever that was. My hand closed on the door handle and let myself out into the cool night air. Wait, that's the fucking patio. I chose the patio. From far away, the lonesome call of an owl Call of an owl as I shambled through the freezing grass. Is that Mark? My feet moved almost of their own accord. Even if I wanted to turn back, I wasn't sure I could. So hard to think. My mind wanted to nod off and let my body just go where it wanted. What if I chose the other one? I don't think this choice matters. It felt almost like I was driven by someone else's will as I started for the door I knew was furthest from where I was, but with each step I grew more confident. My hand touched the smooth metal of the door handle and I let myself out. I'm legit going out the front door now? Let's go out the front door so we can go see Ewan, right? I was aware of the wind, cold long fingers that pulled at my hair and clothes, but it was somehow faint, as if muffled by the warmth of the dark that enveloped me. This was definitely a dream. Pavement scratched my feet as I wandered down the driveway. This is very dangerous. And a familiar voice hummed in my ears. My voice was strange and raspy. Something was burning my feet and my steps faltered as I realized I'd gone off into the grass. What am I doing? I tried to freeze, but my feet stumbled forward again as if something was pulling me along. My toes were freezing in the icy grass. No, I had to stop. I had to go back to the house. This wasn't right. But another voice inside demanded I keep going, urgently begging me to take another step, and another. My will crumbled and I obeyed. My feet met another surface, cold, hard, and I paused. I knew somehow this wasn't where I meant to go. No, it's not. My dark world blazed bright with blinding lights. A dream gave way to reality. Oh shit! I almost died. I chose the die route, apparently. A loud sound blared and the world came into sharp focus. No! October 19th, by the way. I threw myself backwards, falling back into the grass with a heavy thump. Ugh. I lay there nursing a bruised arm, shivering in the autumn air. At first, I was just too shocked to really understand what was happening, but my brain finally caught up to the situation. I was outside, down by the bridge, and the street. The sky overhead was still dark. I've never gone down the street before. So I was very tempted to go this route. It's probably wrong, and I'll probably have to replay this entire game again, but it's okay. The sky overhead was still dark. I had no idea what time it was. Early AM, most likely. Who drives like that this early in the morning? Then again, who wandered around on the road this early in the morning? Me, apparently. Still shaking, got to my feet, wincing as sharp stings of pain lanced into my legs. My feet were scratched up and bleeding from my little trek outside, but I needed to get back home, so I was going to have to bear with it. Hugging myself, I staggered back to the house anxiously. Thankfully, all the lights were out, and it didn't seem like anyone had noticed I left. I probably hadn't been gone long. In the kitchen, I stopped by the sink where I carefully wiped the blood and mud from my feet with paper towels. I blotted the dirty footprints I left on the wood floor and carefully threw away the paper towels, making sure to hide them further down the bin so Mom wouldn't see them. Worried, cold, and still in pain, I made my way up to the bathroom Spencer and I shared. The sleepwalking thing was getting worse. If I hadn't woken up that car, I shut the doors and turned the light on, blinking painfully at my reflection. The Michiko that looked back at me was haggard, her clothing wet and her hair a windblown mess. Idiot. I quickly finished doctoring my feet and arm before limping back to bed. After a quick change into dry pajamas, I snuggled in under the blankets and pulled them up over my head like I'd done as a child to ward off the monsters. But those monsters had been imaginary. This monster, the sleepwalking menace, was very real, and I was going to have to deal with it if I didn't want to get myself seriously hurt. I don't know if that was the correct choice to go out into the driveway, but I was so tired. Sitting on the edge of my bed, rubbing my eyes as if it would somehow help me wake up isn't helping. It felt like I hadn't gotten any sleep at all. That stupid sleepwalking thing was really taking it out of me, and dealing with it was the last thing I needed given how complicated the rest of my life had gotten over the last week. It didn't feel like a week should be able to make that much difference, but it did. Oh man. Did it ever? Though not for want of trying to keep things simple, trying and failing horribly, but that was another thing entirely. Where is it? The sleepwalking could be connected to everything else. How was I even supposed to know? With a girl, I staggered out of bed and went to pick an outfit, then to go wash my face. I've been trying so hard to keep the supernatural from bleeding into my home life as much as I could, but the sleepwalking thing wasn't making it easy. I was a bit paranoid about it, to be honest. There was some kind of paranormal secrecy act in place, which Allie had mentioned last week, that literally made it illegal to talk to normal people about the magic community. In most situations anyway, the rules were nebulous, and while they did allow for accidental exposures, I'd been very strongly warned about being careless. The main issue was that I was supposedly a legitimately magic race, so telling my family about it was out of the question. The fact that magic was involved made out the difference in terms of how dangerous it could be. Not just magic, but fairy magic at that. Though to be fair, I couldn't say with certainty whether the sleepwalking was paranormal in the first place, much less magical, so it might be a moot point. I was still hesitant to talk to Mom about it though, because well, it didn't feel like a normal sleep disorder, and honestly, even without laws in place, I doubted my parents would believe me if I told them my inner fairy was making me go frolic in the woods at night. If I was still questioning the whole fairy thing, I could only imagine they'd probably have my brain scanned to figure out if I got nuts. And that was just my parents. Spencer was an entirely different problem. I pulled my clothes on wearily. All the efforts to keep this stuff away from home. And here I am causing problems with something as stupid as sleepwalking. I so desperately wanted just one part of my life to remain normal, one thing. Though I guess I couldn't really take all the blame myself. My sleepwalking was definitely not the only weird thing going on at home. There was also that thing to contend with. Hello. You cute little thing that we're probably gonna see for the very last time. I sat as I sat at the island, cupping my hands around a coffee mug, side-eyeing the little brown creature taking a bath in the kitchen sink. Or maybe it was going for a swim. I tilted my head as I watched. Nope, definitely a bath. Ew! I watched it pick up a sponge and start scrubbing itself. That cannot be sanitary. And how did no one else notice that? Even if they couldn't see the creature, surely they'd at least see a little bit levitating sponge or something. And seriously, the fairies just have no sense of modesty at all, because it seemed to have no problem with me watching it scrub its backside. Not that I wanted to watch it, exactly. I looked away, wrinkling my nose, wondering how safe it was to drink my coffee. Michiko? I started at the unexpected intrusion, almost falling off my seat. Oh jeez, didn't notice him come in. Seeing me nearly faceplant on the floor amused my friend in the sink. Okay. Because it fell out with a splat. I could hear it creaky giggling behind the island. Why are you so jumpy lately? Just didn't sleep well. What do you want? Spencer gave me a long look. I was saying, did you want to lift to school today? Whoa, what? I raised an eyebrow. Mr. I'm ditching you was offering me a ride. Really? Come to think of it, he looks really tired. Maybe his afternoon job was harder than he expected, not to mention that things at home had been rocky, to say the least. Not my fault, though. That stupid brown thing, a household spirit as Allie called it, had taken a strong dislike to Spencer. They were supposed to be helpful, but if you made them mad, they could be a major nuisance. And Spencer had made this one mad. I sipped at my coffee carefully as I studied the dark circles under Spencer's eyes. Allie's driving me as usual. What? Just say yes. What the fuck? early development of friendship with my brother, please. I had no idea what he was up to. Frankly, it had better for both of us if I didn't ride with him, considering I was taking the blame for the household spirits, shredding his homework, and hiding his keys and stealing his shoes. Suit yourself. I will, thanks. He seemed really disappointed, but surely he couldn't be that shocked I'd prefer to ride with, well, anyone but him. Spencer paused in the door, glancing back at me. Do you spend time with anyone not in the club anymore? It hasn't even been a week, but it's like that's all you even do these days. Spend time there or with other members somewhere else. What has the club got to do with anything? You know, people say a lot of weird things about it, some of the people in it too. Is there a point to this? I just think it's interesting that that's the club you chose to join. I joined it because Allie's in it, and she has to drive me home every day because you can't be trusted. He scowled as I grabbed my things, but I just rolled my eyes at the mock outrage. He picked the fight, not me. Glare all you want. I wasn't the one who left you at school, was I? I left him in the kitchen and started outside. I had no idea why he constantly had to poke at me about stupid stuff like that. I wasn't a fan of the bickering. I would assume he wasn't either, but he sure seemed to like picking fights. I nearly made it to the driveway when he grabbed me by the arm. What do you want, Spencer? You know, I found the keys in the fridge this morning. What the fuck? I didn't know, but congrats, I guess. That stupid brown thing. And my homework is still missing. You're struggling with the concept of making a point more than usual today. I know it's you. It's not me, as I've told you several times already. I mean, not that I had proof or anything, so it wasn't as if I couldn't understand why he was blaming me, and I couldn't exactly tell him that it was the household spirit. Stupid fairies! I yanked my arm free and stepped away from him. Until you actually catch me in the act of supposedly stealing your stuff, maybe you should keep your accusations to yourself. I will catch you. Okay, well, good luck with that. Okay, just checking her up. I turned on my heel and stalked down the driveway. I heard Spencer slam the front door a few seconds later. As soon as he was gone, I let my shoulders droop as I rubbed at my eyes. Stupid brother. Oh, hold on. Tyler's spamming me. I don't know if it's important. He was lucky I was too tired to really get mad at him. If the sleepwalking didn't end up being the death of me, Spencer and that stupid fairy would be. I hated that Spencer blamed me. Even more than that, I hated that I completely understood why he did. He was hardly going to assume Mom and Dad were doing it. I was the only logical choice. Why is that stupid fairy so mad at him anyway? I still hadn't even worked out that much. Not that it mattered. Where am I going? Why? Whatever the reason, it was mad at him, and it was making both of our lives miserable because of it. Given everything else going on in my life at the moment, it was a little side trauma I really didn't need. But I was so absorbed thinking about it. I was nearly all the way down to the bridge before I realized I hadn't actually told Allie I'd meet her somewhere. She'd probably shown up at the house soon and wonder where I was. Oops. Well, I'm already here anyway. I'll send her a text in a minute. She had to come this way anyway to get to school, so it's not like it was out of the way. The bridge was beautiful as always, covered with a canopy of leaves above. Didn't I see the bridge creep already? Why am I here again? Why am I here again? Dappled with light below. I passed over it every day, but I hadn't actually walked down since the incident with Spriggan, at least in part because Allie had told me not to. I'd wanted to though. I couldn't pinpoint why there was nothing down there anymore. I just felt a weird pull. It was strange how being down there caused a strange nostalgia to creep over me though. I'd never been to this neighborhood before we moved in. I paused briefly when I set foot on the edge, wondering why I had even come down here again. I glanced behind me, but Allie's car wasn't in sight, so a little peek couldn't hurt, right? Just a quiet whatever strange impulse was pushing me to come back here. Oh my god, I'm so fucking dumb. Leaving my school bag beside the road, I carefully slid my way down to the embankment. If Allie came this way before the text, she'd see my bag and stop. I grimaced as my boots sank in the mud down by the water. Recent rains had swelled the creek. It was still quite shallow, but I definitely didn't want to fall in. I found a mostly solid patch of ground at the bottom where I could safely look around, and found myself unexpectedly facing off with the deep shadows lurking under the bridge. And suddenly I didn't think I wanted to be there anymore. It was just a normal bridge, and yet something felt off as I peered under it and through to the other side. Wiggly, vague shapes seemed to waft from the shadows, and the heavy, wet smell of soil and trees reminded me of my sleepwalking. That smell always permeated my dreams and left a feeling of disquiet deep in the pit of my stomach. I backed away, deciding that I'd seen it, and I could go now. There was no spray and no evidence it had ever been there, and I had seen everything I wanted to see. As I climbed back up the embankment, I felt strangely jittery. I just really wanted to leave. I wasn't quite to the top when I saw the familiar figure on a motorbike coming up the road toward me. He slowed as he approached, then came to a stop a few feet past where I was standing. Ewan! He propped the bike, carefully pulled off his helmet. I waved sheepishly, not really having expected to see Ewan this morning. He gave a long look where I stood halfway down the embankment. Amusingly, he looked even taller from this angle, like a disapproving giant glaring down at me. Michiko, what are you doing down there? Well, you see, I felt a strong force, and like Star Wars, when the force is speaking to you. I glanced back down to the creek. No, nothing much. I had a fight with my brother and sort of flounced my way here without realizing it, you know? I shrugged helplessly. I didn't know how to explain it. I just wanted to take a look, that was all. Ewan shook his head and inched his way partially down the embankment before extending a hand. Here, come on, let's get you out of there. I reached up gratefully and pulled myself higher, my feet sliding on the wet grass and leaves. Going down had definitely been easier. Ewan had no trouble pulling me back up to the road. He released me as soon as I was at the top, and I scraped the mud from my boots on the edge of the asphalt. Definitely not the best plan to climb down in these boots. At least they were nicely waterproof. Here. He handed me my book bag, which I slung over my shoulder, and then we just stood there, awkwardly, silently. Thanks for stopping to help me. I mean, you know, I thought you managed to tumble down into the creek somehow. I'm not that clumsy. Well, given your skills dismounting my bike the other day, I wasn't sure. This has nothing to do with that. The only way I'd tumble into the creek is if I took a deliberate swan dive off the bridge. He smirked slightly, and then the awkward silence was back. Jeez, why was it so hard to talk to him sometimes? And where the heck was Allie? Allie is probably like bitching at Spencer right now, and this is where we're actually going to end today's episode off. It's really nice to see Ewan and his motorcycle and everything. I wonder where exactly he lives. Does he live obviously on the opposite side of this bridge, or he has to if he's going this way? I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Touch it,